Welcome back, friends. It's the Kennedys, Jason and Lo, and We Can't Stop Fighting. That was the title of the first episode. We will stick with the title for now. But the good thing is, after the first episode, after hearing from you, we were so deeply moved by all the things you were saying. I would say 99% of the comments were positive. There were a few of, this shouldn't be public. Keep this is a personal family thing. Keep this close to the chest. I'm always going to say the negative stuff. I'm not just going to lead with the praise. But I would say for the most part, we walked away from that conversation. And I personally said, I don't want to do this for the views. I think it's helpful knowing that other people are watching because we will watch the way that we're talking to each other. And sometimes you can get away with saying things that you don't really mean. If it's just the two of you. But knowing that publicly people are watching, our therapist Angie is back. Hi, Angie.
Hi, so glad to be with you again.
Yes, so glad to have you. How are you feeling about everything after the first episode landed? Thoughts, feedback, responses? I heard there was a lot.
I feel so satisfied, so hopeful for people. In fact, my DMs blew up. So many people were so encouraged by your story and your vulnerability. And so many people want counseling now. So many couples want counseling. Couples that are newly married are feeling courageous to ask for help. And then couples have been married a long time that have never taken that step are saying yes. So thank you guys for opening up.
It's crazy to think because I didn't know how it was going to go. We were talking before we started recording that some of your family members noticed my tension.
They did.
And some viewers also said the same thing because there were moments where you were saying stuff where I didn't disagree, but that's the normal thing about therapy. There's going to be tension. There's going to be those moments. And I want to continue to kind of live in those emotions and those feelings. I don't care about it. Look, I want people to like me. Who doesn't, right? I want people to think that I'm a great husband, but I also want to be completely transparent.
Who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't want that? What did I already screw up?
I want people to like me. Who doesn't?
That's real.
Thanks, hon. But I just want it to be authentic, and we're going to continue to do it, and we're going to do more. And I'm thankful that you're back. But your family members sense my tension.
They sense the tension. In fact, they want the behind the scenes tea. And I'm like, I'm a therapist. I can't tell you the details. So we need a behind the scenes one of these days. But they did notice the tension, and also they wanted more. They wanted it to keep going. In fact, like I said, some of them actually want to pursue counseling now. Again, not that things are terrible, but they're like, okay, we actually do need to communicate better, or we need to be authentic. And this is moving from your head to your heart. And so I just want to encourage you today as we have this conversation is try to be in your heart and your feelings. And if it's tension, that tension is good because it's telling you something. So obviously you didn't feel too tense because we're back.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
From a kid who didn't grow up with therapy to someone who is now pursuing it privately, one-on-one with another therapist, and then as a couple with you, I'm into it. I'm digging it. I encourage my friends all the time to go to therapy. I think it's really important.
So many of your guy friends go to therapy, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
that's just so rare. I feel,
and it
so
opens
healthy.
up it opens up a new conversation, and it helps me feel closer with my guy friends when we can be like, all right, what'd your therapist say about that? Or it just unlocks a whole thing. You said something interesting to me yesterday after our first conversation. You feel what? You said you almost feel not as good as I'm doing, or what? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but please.
Or you said
we haven't gotten in a fight since the therapy session. Like, we've had little arguments, of course, but we haven't had one of those fights
really,
where
I feel like we both just been in dysregulated situations, so we're both like, whoa. But it hasn't necessarily been like an argument, like, no, I disagree. No.
But not the silent treatment for like a day or two where it's just kind of festering in the house and the whole vibe of the family is off. We have not had, and we were having a lot of those. I mean, that's why we did this in the first place. What do you think's changed?
And I said, why do you think that is?
This happened yesterday, so tell them what happened.
I said, why do you think that is? And what did you say?
I don't remember. Tell me.
I kind of don't remember either, but you said something like, I don't remember actually what you said, but I said, it's because you have changed so significantly. And then you said, well, that makes me feel like I'm the one starting all the arguments. And I was like, no, I think it just shows the like power of the health of a man in a family, because I personally feel like I've been more at the end of my rope in certain situations that we've been in recently. And like you've validated, which I don't think I've ever really seen you understand and do, which it's like such a skill to learn. And like, same, I've had to learn how to do that and what that is. And you've just like stayed very regulated. So more my point is, I feel like I have been doing maybe not as well personally, but then you growing has just kept everything kind of more like.
Are you almost going to hit me in the face throughout the whole hour?
Maybe.
But then, it wasn't triggering. That's a strong word. But when you were like, well, she made it seem like I was the one who was starting all of the drama and
You're
the
the
fights.
problem.
Yeah, I'm the problem. I'm like, well, that means that I'm the entire problem and it's not 50-50. It doesn't take
Yeah.
two to tango. So I jokingly said, as we were kind of prepping for this interview, this is kind of this current state of affairs. But all that to say is we went up to our little getaway with the family in Idaho, and we went on 27 date nights in a row.
Okay, this is a record. I don't know. I think you need to write a book, 27 date nights in a row. That's the book.
It should be. It should be a movie.
Yes.
And
Whose idea was that, by the way?
Truly, it wasn't even
wasn't planned.
It wasn't planned. Yeah.
It wasn't planned. It was one of those things where we're up there. There wasn't normally have a lot of friends up there with us. It was just early in the summer. A lot of the kids were still in school, and we kind of did great. We didn't get in any fights.
It's like a community. So there's restaurants. There's 2 restaurants in the community, so you don't really have to leave. So every night we would just go to the restaurant, and it would be the 2 of us. Sometimes the way it works there is we have like so many friends, like older couples that were there during this time. So we'll be like, come to dinner with us. And then, I don't know, we just had an amazing time.
It was good.
So you like each other again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, when we came last time, you had been fighting every day, all the time,
Yeah.
like 2 siblings bickering, fighting, and now you're going on 27 dates in a row. Let's just celebrate that for a minute. That's
I'm
unreal.
celebrating.
That's unreal.
I'm absolutely celebrating. And
Wow.
And I'd like to mention that Idaho is usually our problem spot.
So you rewrote a story.
And let me guess, it was all because of me.
Jason.
I'm the problem. I'm the
You
issue.
fixed
I will
yourself.
say,
Yeah, right.
I know it takes two to tango, but I will say in Idaho, it kind of leans towards you.
Wow.
I
Babe,
only say that because
babe, it takes 2 to tango.
I know, but when there's only one trying to tango and the other one's out.
Well, let me just point this out because
going well.
because just to give hope to all of your viewers is that one person can change the system.
Yeah.
So the power of one person, the power of you, Jason, just changing your energy with her, it's changed her life. And I would venture to say, Lo, you have actually changed too. Even though you've actually had some struggles, we'll probably unpack that a little bit today on your trip. You were able to receive the blessing and the gift that he was giving you in that time.
Yes.
And so he changed the system, but the system is changing you.
Yeah, totally.
So if you're in a marriage right now and you feel like your spouse can't change, or your partner, if you're dating, change yourself and watch the system change.
Yeah.
I definitely.
And I'm more.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I'm more
I
saying
just
that with
think that.
Ida.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Here we go. The fights
I was gonna say-
begin.
No, I was gonna explain what I more mean by Idaho too is like he is the extrovert, and it's like a summer camp for adults. And so when we were there,
I love camp.
I like love home, so I really would be at home. So it was easy for him to just like every year I'd be like, "Do you feel like we're connecting this summer?" He's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "I don't see you ever." And like a lot of wives feel that, like we laugh about it there. So it's like that is what I mean by that. Is just it's easy to be distant from each other because there's just so many things you can be doing in a day there. But I kind of say that in a funny way, but it really was the root of what was creating a lot of issues. But
Still stings.
no, but just seeing like your priorities change was like really incredible.
Well, thank you.
In Idaho.
I appreciate that. And we'll dig into that a little deeper. But I wanted to also lead with a couple viewer comments.
Okay. Fun.
This is from Sarah Wilson. Hi, Jason. Just a quick note to say thank you to you and your wife for your honesty. My husband of 24 years and I have been fighting a lot recently, and it feels so isolating and confusing. Interestingly, we didn't fight a lot when our 3 girls were younger. Anyway, thank you again. Good work. Here's another person. Good work, man. As a therapist who sees couples, watching you two talk through conflict and feelings is great fun. Brave work. It's work, and it's so worth it. I love how you both show up for one another and do the hard work to maintain a healthy, loving marriage. It's work for sure. Bless you and your family. Another one, incredible therapy session. Feel like I just went to therapy myself. Please do a whole series. Another one, wow, this was so impactful to see people look up to. I struggle with that. We're not celebrities, but it says to see celebrities, but we're just ordinary people. To see you guys look up and be so vulnerable, just completely humanize you in your lives. Thank you for this gift. It was very encouraging. And honestly, the list goes on and on. We got so many of those. And I went into this again going, do it for your relationship first and foremost. And I felt like mission accomplished. So again, all of that in our intro here is to say thank you for the feedback. Thank you, Angie, for coming back and chatting. We learned a lot about ourselves most recently. We went to Nashville. A lot of our friends are moving to Nashville, Tennessee. We've lost 5 or 6 close friends. I say lost because when someone moves away that you're close with, it kind of feels like a loss.
Friends.
A couple's friends. And we wanted to
more
take
like 10.
Yeah. We wanted to take Nashville for a spin and see if we were going to leave California. And we didn't really talk. This is the first time we've talked about it. And it was one of those trips where we prayed about it. We were looking for signs. Are there any signs? Are we supposed to do this? And it was a trip where every single thing, besides having a lot of laughs and seeing old friends like that, those were the highlights. And family. Everything went wrong. From our rental house, the air stopped working in the middle of the summer in Nashville, to our rental car, the air stopped working, to our dog. We're with your twin sister. They have a dog. The dogs got in they didn't bite each other or anything, but they were like barking and screaming at each other, and the kids got scared. And so I felt like that was like a jarring situation to, even the adjusting to our nieces, their schedule, waking our kids up because they were on a different times. I feel like nothing was in sync. And it was one of those trips where we felt so tested and irritable and frustrated. And I just thought, all right, we're gonna have another big blow up. But we didn't have a blow up towards each other, right?
Yeah.
How did you look at that trip?
I thought it was incredibly exhausting. But not because of you or the people. It was truly became comical how much was going wrong from River. He doesn't have, potty accidents. He's like really potty trained. To him having like uncontrollable diarrhea at this one farm.
He had diarrhea. He pooped everywhere inside of a bird cage.
No, outside, just right outside.
Oh,
we were sprinting
right
and just exploded. It was like fun. I feel like
But that's such an image, right?
Yeah.
Of the trip.
totally.
Yeah.
Just a mess.
Yeah.
No flow.
And like everyone was super calm.
Oh, it was flowing.
It was flowing, actually.
It was such a memory.
What a
And
mess.
I don't know. I just told her, I was like, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Like, don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
But and sweet families all around, just like offering help. But I just feel like thing after thing like that would happen, and
You lost it.
it became crazy.
You were showering with Riv that night, and I'm always kind of the
Or right
one
after the farm.
After the farm, and I'm always the one who can kind of lose my cool sometimes where I just have to kind of step away for a second. But for the first time in a long time, I felt like you lost it. And you're like, River, get in the shower right now. We're going to clean you up. And I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one. Maybe it's the Zoloft that, makes you so calm. But I actually saw a mirror of someone who had similar reactions to how I would handle that situation sometimes.
I kind of saw like relief in your eyes when I did
Yeah,
that.
I was like, oh, she's normal. But what happened? I said something to you, and it kind of was a really beautiful moment that has now been something that I've tucked away, and I will put in my arsenal to diffuse situations next time.
Yeah. So, well, Jason was just like so hands-on. Like he's always hands-on with parenting and family and all that, but it was just like another level of just like attunement and awareness. It was really cool to see. And I feel like you were just like thriving in it. So anyways, after that situation, River had just been a disaster in the car for like over 20 minutes. I think he was just so hot and so tired. And he was just fighting me on everything for like so long. And my patience has like a very long
Big wick.
thread. Big wick.
Big wick.
Long suffering.
Long suffering, yeah.
Long suffering.
We'll give you that.
That's like the funniest term. Big wick. That's true. And I truly was just like, I'm about to lose it. And in the shower, he was just fighting me on everything, even just washing his hair or whatever. And I was like, River, that is enough. And I just like lost it. And anyways, Jason later said, like, I'm so sorry that you felt that way. And I hate that you had to feel that way. And like, I'm so sorry. Literally was like, excuse me. That was amazing.
Wow. I mean, that was the validation.
Yeah.
That I see you, I hear you, I'm proud of you. I want to do something about what you're going through. And
Yeah.
Jason,
High five.
high five. Tell me about that moment for you. What turned you? Because that is not only coming from your heart, but it's a skill. I just want to acknowledge that it's something learned. Where did it come from?
Well, let me tell you why I think I'm such a great husband, Angie. No, I mean, I think the frustration since day one has always been, she talks about validation. You don't validate me enough, and that became so upsetting to me because I'm not sure if I necessarily knew how, but in the moment because I'm a very visual person, in the moment to kind of pause and go, this is what she's talking about. Yeah, I can do this. And then apply it in my marriage down the road, I can do it. So that helped me. So instead of saying like, "Whoa, you really lost your cool," I'm like, it was nice to see that because I know what you're feeling, and I'm sorry that you felt overwhelmed. So I almost think that I'd like to see that more from you. Now I want you to validate me more and be like, yeah, it's frustrating, right? So just that simple back and forth, I felt like was a huge moment for us as we continue this fun journey.
That is the moment of growth.
Yeah.
I mean, once you've done it, you can do it again. Now it's about conditioning yourself to that. And I think it's so powerful that it's funny how you actually joyed in her meltdown. And it wasn't that you were joying that she was upset, but that she's human. She's not perfect, but it allowed you to change your role to where you could actually be the strength, Jason. And now you guys can you're a team. Totally. You're in alignment. And so what was that like for you? He's saying these things. Are you like, is this real?
Yeah, I truly, in my head, was like, I don't really know how to respond. Or just like that felt amazing.
Yes.
And I could feel just like the unifying feeling of just like, wow, he like sees me and cares. And also that just felt, like what you said, just you feel seen and supported.
And that is what's called emotional intimacy. See, we have a lot of physical intimacy, but it's physical.
Yeah.
What makes physical intimacy so much more powerful is the emotional intimacy. And this is something that we have to grow in. It's a practice. It's a skill. It's like going to the gym. You all know what that's like. But whoever told us that marriage would be so hard? You have to go to the marriage gym every single day.
Yep.
And when you have a moment like that, it's like, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Emotional
That was incredible.
intimacy.
Emotional
Noted.
intimacy.
And yet through that, we noticed another thing, that Lo definitely still struggles with OCD. This is something, it was cool having your sister there because she's known you longer than anybody. She knew you pre-accident.
And
And
her husband too.
and yeah, and
Had a good perspective.
for sure. My brother-in-law, Sean. And we noticed that your OCD definitely was triggered multiple times on that trip. I thought the floors seemed very clean, but yet you really struggled with these floors where we were staying, and it was triggering you morning, noon, and night. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, what is going on here? I'd love to hear why. And then, Angie, I'd love for you to try to help me understand how do I navigate my wife's OCD without letting it tip me off.
That's right.
I feel like you did a great job. Well,
Maybe
it was
in your head.
It was interesting because, of course, my sister knows me like better than almost anybody. And then Sean, her husband, same. He's like know me years before my accident, during, and then after. And my sister was like, "You actually did not have this before your accident." And I thought back, because in my head I always thought I always was like that. It's like, actually I wasn't at all. And I thought through so many scenarios where I would have felt that way, and I never did. Even I lived in New York twice, and like that's kind of a crazy place to live. I don't know if you have that issue with cleanliness. And so I don't know, it's something post-accident. I don't know if it's like a chemical change in my brain. I don't know if it's like a fight for control over something like that. But I just have a massive issue with cleanliness. So in the last place we stayed at, Poppy was just walking around like a normal baby. And I didn't put shoes or socks on because she would just rip them off. But as she would walk around for, an hour or so, and then I would wipe her feet before her nap, and the wipe would be black. I literally was like, this is crazy.
And to me, that's for most people watching me, like, oh yeah, that's
But
just
indoors.
indoors, yeah. But on the surface, everything looked very clean to me. It wasn't a
And they
dirty
came up and mopped and it was
place. But yes,
and like little things like, this is just so wild, but the like shampoo container in the shower in this hotel, it just had it was like liquid soap. It's not like a bar of soap, but I'm just so crazy about like hosting, and I think just like how I present a space. So it's like my expectations just might be so high, but like you could see like where someone had used it before. I don't know, and that just threw me.
Yeah. And you got hooked. And so
Oh my
you
gosh.
couldn't unhook.
No,
I couldn't
like
unwind her after
Yeah.
that.
Literally from my
It probably
thought.
got worse.
In my head, I'm like, it's a hotel room. Thousands of people have
Yeah.
been in here using this. But that's the sad thing about OCD, right?
Yeah.
It sounds crazy to some people, but to others, it is a real thing.
It's real, and
And I
it's
want to
consuming.
respect it, and I want to. I need some help with that. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
Oh no, you're great. I don't think I had
So a couple things is the first thing when we started talking about this, actually prior to this, the first thing I asked, did you have this before your accident? And you said no. So there's a couple things that happen. One is when you have an emotional trauma that puts you into hypervigilance, but you had a physical trauma too. And so any kind of brain injury, any kind of emotional trauma, that can change your brain chemistry.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot going on there. So this is not surprising. But when you get hooked, the key is how do you unhook? And that's what we need to get really practical with. One is you also do have a standard for cleanliness. I mean, your home is beautiful. For those of you, it's absolutely gorgeous. Everything is perfect.
It always looks like this.
It's just perfect. So that's part of your nature. But now you have, when you're hooked, how do you unhook? That's the goal. So tell me, I want to hear, what did the rest of the week look like with this OCD? How did it
We were all
manifest?
fine with the floors, but it always kept coming back to the dirty floors.
Constantly, like
Well, it
throughout the day.
started to in the first place. The floors were totally fine, but I had to tell myself, do not look up. Don't look up. Because
At
in
what?
the vents, it would just be like
A lot of
dust.
dust, yeah.
And then but it was like an old home. Like it was historical, just kind of, I think how it is. I don't really know. We're not around, or like here in LA, it's not big on like historical homes as much.
It's
Anyway,
like a creaky old home
Yeah.
in Frankfurt.
It was old.
Yeah.
I thought it was charming, but
yeah, no, it was like so cute.
then the air stopped working.
But
Not so charming.
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know. It's just like it's so true. It's like,
Well, it gets
crazy.
bigger, and I think that's with OCD or obsessions and compulsions, obsessive thinking. That's what happened, and so then it started to become part of your life,
Yeah.
and then Jason's life, and all of a sudden now we're talking about all the things that's wrong.
It affects the vibe.
It affects the vibe,
so
and
much.
so for you, tell me how. I want to hear, and I think everyone would want to hear. How did you get through it? Because it sounds like you were exposed to it, which is the first part of kind of facing OCD is just living in it.
yeah.
How did you find relief?
I
Or
would
was
do
it
like
just
a countdown in my brain of how many nights I had left? Like, one more night, you can do it. 2 more nights. Like, that was my internal. But my brother-in-law actually asked an amazing question about the last place we were in. He was like, what is your fear in Poppy's feet being dirty? Like that.
great question?
And I was like,
He's brilliant.
yeah, that really stuck with me because I was like, yeah, what is my fear? I was like, because then she'll get her sleep sack dirty. And then it just like, and then I went down this whole like path in my head of why that freaks me out. But it wasn't like anything bad. Meaning,
Wasn't a big deal.
right.
Did it?
Like if I answered that question, there really wasn't a huge fear. It was just like an obsession of, well, that would get on that, and then that would get on that, that would get on that, and then we're home, and then like her feet are gonna get on my shirt, and then I don't know, it was just like this whole thing.
Did that defuse you a bit? The thought of, oh, her socks are dirty, or did it make it worse? Did that question help, or did it?
That helped. Yeah, that helped a lot.
Because you began to self-challenge. Okay, this isn't really a big fear. In anything that happens, I can deal with it.
Yes.
Did you notice that change in her?
Well, we left that.
I think we left that.
was the
night.
last day.
Yeah, so I did.
We just need the question earlier in the week.
Yeah, if Sean could have asked that on day one. But going back to what you were saying, I just started to count how many days left. To me, that just sounds miserable.
Oh, it was miserable.
That
like
doesn't
hell.
seem like the
It's like,
answer.
why are we
Yeah.
here?
Why are we spending money to be here
Yes.
and try to enjoy a rare family vacation? This was our first family vacation kind of together with the whole crew,
Yeah.
all the kids and everything. And
Without like in Idaho, we have our home, so it just looked different. It was like staying different places rather
Right.
than at our parents' house or at our house.
Yes.
But in your mind going into this trip, you want it to be perfect. There's going to be some things, right? But we were looking forward to this trip, and it turned out to be a trip that we couldn't wait to leave. And that was tough. So to answer your question, no, we decided to leave the next day, so I didn't notice a big change. But I always go back to her, the accident, her frontal
That's
lobes,
right.
and I have to. It's not an excuse, but I have to really have grace on that. But it definitely can affect the situation.
Absolutely. But I would say your brother-in-law was brilliant, and let this be a lesson for us all. Jason, you can ask those types of questions right away.
Yeah.
What does this mean for you? And what are you afraid of? What do you and have her walk that path. Again, that's part of that reality, that exposure. And then she will actually self-challenge and self-solve this. And if you had that question at the beginning, I think it would have changed things.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I think so. What was interesting too is I was talking to my sister. I'm like, I clearly, she knows me so well too that she would just notice I was like stressed, which is also very unlike me, or to be just like discombobulated kind of. And she was like, it's so funny because like this trip has not been stressful at all for me. And then I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I think that showed me, it was just like my internal that was going
It
crazy.
was all internal. It wasn't even real.
Yeah.
It wasn't real. And you know what? It stole a week from you.
my gosh.
And
It really did.
And you have to
100%.
connect the pain of what that obsessive thoughts did to you. It stole from you. It stole from Jason. It stole, even your sister probably didn't get to be as present with you because you weren't there.
No.
You were somewhere else. So this is just to give hope. There are skills to solve this. We as humans, we're so used to suffering.
Yeah.
But guess what? You now have a way to ask the right questions. And Jason, you can help her with that. Also, distraction is powerful.
Yeah. And I think the trip was, for me, it's so stressful internally, mostly because of that. But then I think my sister and her husband were like, it's also the age of your kids, because we kept moving and they're like on schedules that are more strict for babies.
That's real.
So it was like many different things, because you felt stressed.
When they're off their schedule, everyone's off their schedule.
Yeah.
It's really disruptive.
Yeah.
But OCD and obsessive thoughts do steal.
Oh my gosh.
They do. And I just want to just acknowledge that. That was really rough.
Yeah.
And
But
it's crazy looking back how you're just like, like I'm so bummed. Like, that
Yes.
sucked.
It's
that,
sad.
like, yeah.
But you know what? The flip side is that now that you've been through it and you feel the pain of that loss,
Yeah.
it's
True.
going to change your next trip when
Yeah.
the floors aren't perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
I'm telling you.
And
It's good.
this
Yeah.
may be too similar to what we were talking about prior, but I'm happy to circle back to it. There was a moment where in my head, when I look back on the trip, I thought that I was high stressed the whole time. So I felt frustration that maybe I kind of missed the mark as well. But when we were talking about it with some family members, you said, you actually handled it really great. And to hear you say that, it almost goes back to affirmation, made me go, okay, progress. Like, I think
Yes.
men just want to, I mean, maybe it's just a blanket statement, but men just want to know that they're doing okay. They're doing a good job. There's something physiologically that happens when I heard you say that, and it made me be like, let's go, buddy. You're doing it, man. And I think that was huge for me.
And you helped me realize that, because I think it's so easy for all of us to keep in our head, like, wow, he handled that so well, but I don't say it out loud.
Right.
It's like saying, you helped me realize I need to say that out loud more. But what was that situation? I
Put your
forget.
hand with the mic.
Yeah.
You're covering it.
Oh, whoops. But what was that situation that I said you handled so well? Because
I think you were just in general talking about my overall mood and
no, it
parenting.
was like a certain situation where I was like, this is not the same person.
And then you
it
said
was
something,
incredible.
then you affirmed him.
Yeah.
You appreciated him.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the record, men want to win in life, in employment, in sports, and in love. And men who feel like they're failing their wives, you know what is the most depressing thing is when when wives aren't happy. Even if they're part of the problem, they still feel like a failure. Again, it's mostly skills. They don't know what to do. Remember we talked about last time, you want to make Lo happy. You just don't always know how. Wow, you're finding the key right to her heart. Is this validation, this affirmation, and also you're finding the key to his.
Yeah.
Let him be a hero. Affirm him.
It is interesting, though, during some of his struggle years, away from his normal routine and
job
stuff,
Yeah.
I would be like, babe, you are doing amazing. I'm so proud of you. You're working so many times. And I also think it's when you're able to hear it. Because
Yeah,
I feel like
sometimes you're not able to hear
It wasn't landing.
Even though you're saying it could just be lost on you.
because that was my goal. It was like very.
You want to lift him
intentional.
up and
Yeah. And be like, I'm here if you need anything. But I think maybe you can speak more into this, but if the guy feels like he is failing and he just like makes that his sure truth, it's like even encouragement doesn't help. Do you feel that?
No, it definitely helps now. You're right. You have to be able to hear it.
Yes.
You want to be in that mindset where you can accept it. Is this something that you're running into with a lot of couples and relationships right now, specifically with men? I think maybe the most common thing is, infidelity, worrying about money, like the headlines that, in marriages. But what is that with men needing to know that they're okay?
I think we can tend as women.
Am I normal?
You are so normal. You are so normal. And I want to just acknowledge that a little went a long way. I mean, you got some affirmation in an area I think you maybe have been feeling really bad about in your own life. Like you aren't winning. And that turned you around. And not only it's going to make you want to do it more.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you are so normal and
Feels like a B12 shot.
exactly. So a little goes a long way. So I ask couples a lot. I said, when I meet with them, do you have a culture of appreciation? Do you like hype each other up?
I love that.
And I'm going to tell you, 9 times out of 10, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like they don't even know what language I'm speaking.
So what language are you speaking? What's a culture of appreciation look
It
like?
is at least 3 to 6 minutes a day. It could be spread out, telling your partner what you appreciate about them, what you see in them, thanking them for that coffee that they make every morning that you take for granted, picking up after each other. It could be the way they dealt with the person that came to the door, maybe what they did at work, just whatever you see them, like catch them doing something good and say something about it. But it's not just about recognizing winning. It's about, I appreciate who you are.
Yeah.
Because you're not always going to win. Jason, you went through a time where you felt very defeated. And I think Lo's unconditional love and presence probably even meant more than her saying you're awesome, because you're not feeling awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter what you're going through, Jason, I'm here and I love you and I'm proud of you. That kind of culture. It takes 8 positives to overcome 1 negative statement.
Wow.
I didn't know that. And you even saying 3 to 6 minutes, I feel like not
like a
just
long
we, but in general, we probably could agree that we are so far off the map that 3 to 6 minutes sounds like a long
lot.
time. Some of those things sound, respectfully, they can sound cheesy to me. Like, thanks for the coffee, honey. But it's like, no, how do we get back to actually saying everyday things to each other that make a difference? I'm actually, it's hard for me to even talk about because I'm thinking about, okay, so how can I fix this? How can I do this? But it's literally in just the day-to-day stuff. It doesn't have to sound cheesy.
Well, I was thinking
Just
the other...
like, you're a great mom. Like you handled that really well. You did that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for grabbing me the salad today. Thank you.
It was so thoughtful of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Like,
Actually, the other night,
good.
so we were just like looking at, Jace like saw this home in Laguna and it had 3 homes like this. And he was like, we should sell this house and rent this with, and then they named like 2 of our couple of friends. And he was like, should we do it? Like that. But he was
Because
like,
we all want to live with our best friends,
yes.
right?
but he
We
was
wanna-
like,
They're separate homes,
but he
but
was
they're
like
yeah.
being dead serious. Like he wasn't like kidding. Like I feel
he
like
was in it.
yeah, he was so in it. And I was like, and usually I'm not, we've just been talking a lot about change in life and things like that. So like it was like kind of serious. And I was like, I was like, do you mind just being a little more sensitive in how you bring those things up? Like, because the home is like the heart of my life.
Like, are we moving, Jason?
Yeah. I was like, it's like, this is like
Potentially.
my happy place. Like, this is where I thrive. And so I was like, I am all for change, but like, can you maybe just say it a little like this? And I kind of saw like the old part of you more being like defensive about it. And so
Well, you said that I was being insensitive, and I felt like I wasn't. To this day, I don't feel like I was being insensitive. I was simply bringing up an idea, and I didn't say it in the way that you essentially wanted to hear it. Like, I don't know. I just didn't use the proper wording or the tone. And to me, I was just excited about a moment and wanted to get some feedback from you. But you saying that I was being insensitive triggered something in me, and I was pissed.
And then your comment triggered something in me because I was like literally thinking in my head, I'm like, that means we won't have like our nanny is like a huge stability in our home and for our kids, and they've been with her ever since they were born. River's school, and I was like, leaving everything we know, our whole home with that we put so much love into. I like that's where I go immediately. And anyways, it was like silly, like not silly because it was real, but the next day, he like apologized 2 different times so genuinely. And one of the times he got me my favorite order of coffee and like my favorite salad bowl, and then wrote a little note and just said like, can I start over? I'm really sorry for how that hurt you.
Who is this guy?
Who are you? I don't even know you.
For Lo Kennedy.
But that actually is how he was at the beginning of
I used to do that a
like
lot.
Okay.
yeah.
That is so amazing.
him.
Because I think I have the bandwidth for it again now.
But I kept telling him, I was like, thank you so much. That was so nice.
Did that make you want to do something for him?
Made me want to go to Newport and
Like, we're buying the house.
We're moving.
We're moving.
No, I'm gonna,
That is the
Yeah,
power
of
of
course.
one person. Because honestly, you could have still been mad, Jason. And you're like, you popped my balloon. Like I was excited, and you just, like right?
Yeah.
So, but now you know he's an idea guy.
yeah,
It will pass.
totally.
You're not moving
yeah.
there.
Can
Yeah.
we do
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Who
like,
knows?
and we'll be with 2 other couple. Whoa, this is a lot. No, and like, usually I'm like such a dreamer and I love stuff like that. But when it comes, that's like my sensitive spot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we can talk through that for sure. And I will be so flexible. But just, I feel like with a woman, maybe just with certain women, you just,
Security, stability.
yeah, that's what I said to him.
top
I was
value,
like,
yeah.
it's like, you got to realize I like really stand on the security here and like the stability. Exactly.
But you got a coffee
I know.
out of it in a note.
It
That's
was
great.
so sweet. But that's kind of what I mean too by the power of like, and I don't even know necessarily if it is the man, but I feel like the man in the home is just so
Game changer.
And I'm like, even just how he responded, if he responded a totally different way, it would have impacted me and the whole home. And you know what I mean?
So look at a wife and you can figure out the man.
How the guy is.
Yeah. You want her to look good on you. She's the fruit. And there's other things we'll probably talk about, but your peace, and I've seen you just so happy with your marriage, Lo, like what's happening. And Jason, you're a big part of that. So way to go.
Thank you.
Way to
Watch
go.
your tone, fellas, and don't take it personally.
That's right.
Can we do some rapid fire?
Let's do rapid
We've
fire,
got 10
yes.
minutes left.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
These are from all of you out there that listened to our first episode. Who wins most of the arguments? P.S. Lauren is an angel and it better be her. That's what it says. This is a real response. It doesn't matter who wins the arguments. In the beginning, I always want to win an argument. Like that, who doesn't want to win an argument? It doesn't matter it almost hurts when you win the argument now in marriage, especially when you have kind of years underneath your belt. Because if I win the argument and she feels defeated, then the entire vibe of the home is going to be negative. And that's
You're
not a
winning.
win at all.
You're not winning.
So it's not about winning or losing anymore. It's about, hey, even if I disagree with you, we got to somehow figure out how we're going to be on the same page, right?
It's Team Kennedy all the way.
It's kind of like what you said, the conflict is a chance for like change and growth.
Yes, it is a pathway to growth. It is an opportunity for connection.
Yeah.
Every single time.
So I feel like if you view conflict like that, the winning part just goes off the table.
It's
So,
growth
like,
waiting to happen is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it was.
How do you not resent each other with parenting duties?
Duties.
Duties.
Good
What do you
question.
think, love?
For all you friends people, you know what I'm saying.
I don't know the episode.
I know. Okay. Oh, I just don't feel like. I think the only time that was really happening was when I was pregnant with Poppy. I feel like after that, I feel like we're just we both are in it.
Well, yeah, we're in it. We have very different roles. You know, you kind of in your lane, I'm in my lane. It kind of works. It's just we're both very hands-on with our kids, and we understand how to dance and pivot. I think the frustrating part can be when we do parent differently. That's for sure. When it comes to discipline, and you know, if you feel like I've missed the mark, you'll send me like a DM from some blog or mommy post, and it's like, you know, the brain development of a 3-year-old is that this is how they're going to act. But I kind of am more assertive, and I'm like, we're not going to talk like this. You know, when I'm talking to River, I'm like, this is not how we're going to be. We're not going to talk like this. And she might be a little more.
I think for you,
honey.
No, I think for you it's like, it's like a kid only wants to feel known and seen. So they're expressing with their bodies. They have no control over their nervous system and regulating that at their age right now. So like they're depending on our nervous system. And if they feel seen and try to be understood, and you can tell them that's not appropriate behavior in this situation, but tell me why you just hit Poppy. Tell me why. And helping them understand that it actually gets their brain to be more understanding of themselves, but also realizes my parents are here with me in this. Rather than just being like behavioral, like, no, that's not okay. So I feel like I just love like reading about all that stuff. So I don't like send it to him to shame him.
The timing is interesting though.
We have
This
good.
just happened 30 seconds ago.
No, we have like good.
Is this a dig?
We truly have good conversations about it. I don't feel like that's like a conflict in our
No.
relationship.
Any thoughts, Angie?
No, I think it's great. I think you guys are doing a good job. But one thing that I've noticed is that you do communicate, even if it's via text, and say, "Hey, read this." But I mean, I'm sure you learned something. I hope you read it.
Yeah.
But I think it's the communication, and you know what? That this is the biggest conflict is parenting style and habits. But you guys have the same end goal in mind. We want our kids to feel loved. We want them to feel secure. We want them to have good boundaries. We want them to be liked by their friends.
Yeah.
You know, so, and part of that is that discipline and that. And so
Yeah.
look at your kids. Poppy and Riv are awesome.
Angels.
You guys are doing it great. You're doing a great job.
Honestly, I'm scared of romantic relationships. What keeps you guys in love for so long? Why do you think people are so afraid of putting themselves out there?
Maybe just from past experiences of
Yeah.
relationships and
Yeah.
or seeing not a good example in their home.
Yeah, all those things can keep you back. But imagine if that was our case and we wouldn't have this life that
That's right.
we're living right now.
I actually wrote notes on that one.
Say it.
I was thinking loyalty. I feel like we're both foundationally very loyal to each other. Even in your industry when we were dating. I'm sorry. Even in his
you're going
industry.
I know
depth
you have
perception.
depth perception. There's a depth perception thing with one eye, but your nail is a centimeter from my eyeball. Continue.
No, I would say even in your industry, even when we were dating, I just never had any fear of like anything happening with anybody else, like a woman for you or whatever. And so I think loyalty and trust, communication, but we just laugh a ton. And
It sounds cliche to be like, you're marrying your best friend. It's like, yeah, you can fight with your best friend too. That's completely normal. But if we didn't like each other, we wouldn't do 27 date nights in a row.
That's
that would
right.
be really miserable. And it wasn't. It was kind of like a nice, the kids are down for the
Yes.
night. Let's get dinner and just laugh
yeah.
and drink wine.
And I would say
Or a
dealing
martini.
with your crap.
Deal with your ish.
Yeah, because that is a huge, I feel like you for years, I know you've openly said this, so I can say it, just like avoided that because it is scary and it's so vulnerable. But it's like you almost like, it is very hard for an individual to change if you're not willing to face your own things. And we all have it.
We all do.
Like we all have it.
You're a mirror for your partner.
Yeah.
And I think that people that don't want to commit, they do not want accountability.
Yeah.
And accountability is the best thing. I mean,
Yeah.
you're having a mirror. I hate it, but I love it because it makes me better. I mean, already you two are better humans because of each other. You're more rounded. You're healthier. You've been held accountable. You've been called out. We hate that.
Yeah.
But there's a price for progress. And so I think people that are afraid of commitment, they've usually had a bad role models and they don't want to be in the fire. But the fire is so refining.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
And
You're
like
a
when you
mirror for your
trust-
partner.
You're
That
a
was
mirror
good.
for your
I
partner.
like that.
And when you trust that person, like there are so many things you have helped me grow in, but it never was like an offense to me because I was like it wasn't easy to
trusted
hear.
him.
Yeah.
You trust him.
But I'm just like, thank you for actually telling me that. When circumstances are crazy, I think you actually make a logical decision of do we want to belittle each other and go against each other in response to our outward circumstances, or do we want to encourage each other and be a team and work together because our circumstances aren't going to change? I feel like that's just another thing we learned in Nashville of just we actually saw what it could look like not being against each other, but like in it together.
A team.
Yeah, and we're like, this is so much more
Better together.
peaceful and like, yeah.
Angie, what are the magic 6 hours?
Oh my goodness. Everyone needs to learn the magic 6 hours. You can change your marriage in a week with 6 hours of investment. Now,
For $39.99.
$39.99. So this is out of, again, the research of John Gottman, the top relationship expert, still active and doing amazing work at the Gottman Institute. But 6 hours. We all have 6 hours because we spend all our time on social media.
Sure.
So let's stop doing that. So number one, partings. How you part. And I'm hearing so much of this in what you're sharing is that happy couples make an effort to learn one thing that is happening in their partner's day. So it's knowing each other's world and saying goodbye to each other with a kiss or a hug, right? Now,
Yes.
It's like
Huge.
showing up.
Yeah.
But it's so simple.
We do that.
You do that.
I like that.
That can be 10 minutes per week. Easy. Number two, reunions. How do you embrace each other when you return? It's like, is it like, do you even look up from your computer? Do you say hello? How about greet each other?
Yeah.
Hug each other, kiss each other. How was your day? Get each other a drink. But again, the partings and reunions are huge. So you might want to look at your own relationship and say, but man, I'm a jerk. I'm like, they come home, they've been around for an hour and I haven't even not like said anything. So that's a really quick way to invest in your relationship. This could take up to an hour or 40 minutes. You could spend half an hour on the couch just debriefing.
Not to name drop, but Julia
I knew
Roberts.
I will
you
never
knew it.
forget that quote either.
When I started dating Lo, I asked Julia Roberts in an interview, I said, what's your best piece of marriage advice? And she's like, how do you greet your spouse when they walk through the door? And as soon as you just said that, I thought of that
Me too.
moment
That's
of Julia Roberts.
That's
And
it.
every time after I interviewed her, she would be like, how'd you greet her today? How'd
Oh
you
my
greet
gosh,
her?
I
It's
love
such
that.
it's important. It's not necessarily something you think about. You could take that moment for granted, but it could be
It's a game changer.
a game changer.
And if you're consistent,
Yeah.
it basically, we all want to feel seen. It goes back to we want to belong. We want people to be happy to see us. So when your spouse is like, their eyes light up when they see you and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm loved.
Yeah.
Boom. Major. And she's still married today. So
Yeah.
pretty amazing. Okay. 3, appreciation, admiration, what you guys modeled. It's just, it doesn't have to be a big speech. Be like, thank you so much for that. Or like what you just said, that meant a lot to me. That it's noticing, admiring. You could do that. Do 3 a day, whatever you have to do. But again, this could be 35 minutes a week will change your relationship. Number 4, affection. This doesn't have to be significant intimacy. It could be just a handhold. It could be rubbing each other's back for a minute. It could be just patting each other. But we have to be physically touching each other in the day. We're wired for it. You know the study. Babies that did not get any touch the first weeks of life, they died.
Oh.
So this is a famous study. So we need touch. We need touch. This could be, again, 35 minutes a week. Date night. Just once a week. 2 hours once a week. You guys did 2 hours probably 7 days a week for 27 days. So you guys your tanks are full.
We're good on that.
But
You're
I
good
will
on that.
say we're not great on that here.
Yeah, that's true.
Like going, like we need to get better on that.
Yeah.
We
I
can
mean,
improve on that.
When you're away, it's easier,
Yes.
because for whatever reasons. But when you're in your routine, you should push yourself for those.
Push yourself. I
Date
mean,
nights.
could you guys do one date night a week?
Yeah, to be honest, once the kids go down, we literally are just here together.
You guys have shows you
Yeah.
binge
So
watch.
we watch our docs and we order in and stuff. So
That
that could be a
togetherness.
date night. A date night doesn't have to always be at a restaurant,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one, this is so important. Could be 1 hour a week. Again, this equals 6 hours a week. Will change your life. Doesn't really cost you much. The last one is a State of the Union meeting.
Okay.
How are we doing?
Oh, wow.
Jason, how do you feel we did this week? Lo, how did we do this week? Where did we fall short? It is a 1 hour per week discovering areas of strengths and concerns. And it's like, this is Team Kennedy. Let's debrief. We do it with our staff.
Can
We
I
do
use
it
a teleprompter?
You can do absolutely. Yeah. But can you imagine doing that now? The State of the Union, don't mix it up with date night.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have to be separate.
Good
Okay.
point.
Okay, so keep it separate. Date night is all fun, love,
Light.
no meeting.
I
No,
feel
hey.
like we've seen those questions we could ask each other every week and we just honestly forget.
So
That's a good reminder.
Be more
A
intentional.
State of the Union. How can I be better at this? This is kind of our State of the Union right now.
This is so great.
We're talking in
for the world.
Yeah.
for the world. You can do a State of the Union in therapy, but it's also nice to do it on your own, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Do it in therapy, but on your own, because then you develop that habit and that pattern. But also you're saying we're a team. Think about when you're like at work, you have an agenda.
Yeah.
You're going into it and you're prepared and you're willing to talk and debrief, and it's to be better together.
Yeah.
And what I love is that even this being a public setting or even therapy, that is a form of accountability that you know you're going to have to see your therapist again. And so you want to show up and improve. This is a way for you guys to show up for each other with your State of the Union.
Great tips as always.
Yeah.
Angie Richey, we appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much.
This is episode 2, and we like doing this, and we love hearing the feedback from you all. So thank you. Keep the comments coming. If you could like this video, if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, it would mean the world. Thanks again. Appreciate you. Love you, baby.
Love you.
Go easy on yourselves and your marriage. I just came up with that, and that might be my new tagline. Who am I, Jerry
love
Springer? Okay, bye-bye.